I keep thinking about, the nature of some of those riffs that I'm hearing, and then I heard those kind of in 10 Minute Warning, and then I hear a little bit of what I heard in Guns N' Roses, and it's like I hear in 1982 the elements of the things that I could hear Paul Soldier doing, or I could hear just getting kind of spread around. So it's like there's so much of the nucleus of what made me so excited about hearing live music in Seattle in this record. That's it. As I listen to it, I'm just
great.
like, oh my God, that's like, it sort of foreshadows so much of what ended up being the language that everybody kind of used to, it's groovy, it's heavy, it's fast, but it's slow. I mean, it's like you kind of have all the elements of it. So it's
just one of those things, Stone.
It's really
It's one of those things where, by me meeting Todd and him like giving me a different angle on playing, like, oh yeah, it's fresh and then Greg coming in and like, oh, this is not that I hadn't played with real drummers, but I didn't really. I had to be the drummer in bands because there wasn't real drummers. I'm not a great drummer, but getting Greg in and like, oh, there's a real hi-hat and there's movement on the hi-hat. He's actually there's something going just with the fucking hi-hat, and then the snare and the kick is this other thing. So I think Todd would probably be on one side of the drum kits looking at Greg's, kick drum, and I'd be on the other side of his kit looking at his hi-hat, and somehow that thing created like Todd said, like it was a tight engine. It was very. We knew like would it go any further than our basement? We don't know, but we had something magical then, and it was ours. And who gives a fuck, There were so many different players and really good and unique players then, and individuals, and so much different music to listen to, because we weren't just listening to punk rock. We were listening to the Sweet and Slade, and Greg took me to fucking see King Crimson. We were on mushrooms at the Paramount.
Nice.
And that, Robert Fripp and Adrian Ballou and Bruford and Tony Levin, and, we were on mushrooms. I'm like, it's all relatable if it's coming from the heart and coming from the right place. I loved Prince, then.
Oh, man,
I loved soul music and R&B music, and we didn't poo-poo Led Zeppelin or anything, because we were punk rock. We were too fresh into it. We were like, this is all fucking cool. AC/DC was cool. They were considered a punk rock band.
You bet. Girls' School.
Motorhead.
Yeah,
of course.
Motorhead. When we were playing, we weren't like influenced, like, oh, you stole this from Led Zeppelin or D.O.A. or any of this. It was like we were trying to be us, trying to be just us, not going, oh, I want to sound exactly like Generation X or something like that, which are fabulous. And, and
I would say that's probably another influence is Generation X.
Yes, they were.
Yep.
But it was like we weren't trying to be them, stuff like that. But there were at certain putting the palm of your hand on the strings and going, man, you can't get away from that stuff.